now been joined by Corey LaJoie. Corey, thanks for spending some time with us. We will go ahead. Corey, I'll start with you. You've had a little bit of an opportunity here. You're obviously running the Craftsman Truck Series this weekend, but you will also be on the Amazon booth or stage, I should say. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about this season, what it's looked like for you, and then just the opportunity to get behind the wheel this weekend.
Yeah, it's been a blast, especially working with those prime guys, top to bottom. That group, such a group of pros. Especially to sit there next to Carl and to just see how his mind works and how he attacks not only just the sport but now TV. How much of a pro he was. It's no coincidence he had all the success that he's had. So it's been really neat to learn from him as well as all those guys. Those guys are indoctrinating me a little bit and how to really attack TV. So that's been a fun thing to learn. It's been a challenge, but it's been seems to be well received by the fans. Hopefully they enjoy it as well. We have a lot of fun doing it. And then, my schedule got a little busier over the last couple of weeks. Once Dickerson gave me a ring to drive a couple truck races, I see Bob here with a little smirk on his face, front row. So yeah, it's been, a lot of emotions going back in there. Can I give you my analogy? Leanne's probably going to put, her hand over her face. Here's my analogy. It's like when, you work building a house for 5 years. And then, your wife becomes TikTok star and says she's not happy anymore. She kicks you out. And then she calls you back a year later and you have to go live in the guest room and she's there with a new boyfriend. That's how this thing goes. So, but I've missed the, just like the trenches of trying to work together for a common goal. 'Cause it's the only thing, racing's the only thing in life that you can be measured by your effort. Good, bad, or indifferent. So I've missed like the working collectively to try to get a truck faster or a car faster or yourself faster, figuring out what your weaknesses are and making them better. And I'm really pumped up to drive this truck with Alan and that whole group and to see some smiling faces back in that shop. They've obviously been bringing some hot rods to the racetrack on the Cup side. And I'm excited for a little bit of a challenge to get this truck program dialed in a little bit. And I'm happy they tapped me to do it.
All right. Well, now open for questions. If you have a question for Corey, we will get a mic to you, and we'll start up front with Bob.
When Dickerson first asked you, was there any hesitation? I don't know whether could you say no, or are you contracted out obligately?
That's a great question. I didn't give him a choice to read the fine print. I just, I inevitably said yes. I think I do still have a ton of respect for Bill Anthony and Jeff Dickerson and all those guys over there. So they asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, sure. I've got some weekends open, and and running that truck's going to be the best thing relative to the field I've ever driven. So to get in there, run some racetracks that I feel really strong at, obviously to win is the goal, but to just progress that truck team. They've had a couple off weeks with Kyle driving. So would love to just have a couple great runs off the bat here and, see where it goes. I don't really have any outcome that's desirable besides just to win and let everything else play out for itself. I really like the pace of life right now with my 3 boys all under 5. Spent a lot of time at home with them doing the TV stuff. It's been a blast. And, if it's got to be the right group to go to war with, because it does take everything you have each and every week if you want to go be competitive. So, and I'm willing to do that. I told the wife and told everybody, Alan included, like, if I'm doing this, I'm all in. You're going to get all I got every week for 9 weeks. So I'm excited to jump in and see what we can do.
Kind of from the comments in February, was there any hesitation to be all in and to do this?
You've known me for a long time, Bob, so I've said a lot of dumb things on camera, so that was just another one. For people who heard that, there's a lot of them. For those who haven't heard that, I said something about not going on a truck series and racing in front of 12 fans. So just to clear context that for everybody. I said that on the morning of a 5-day fast, Bob, and you have asked me that sort of question for like my 8 years of my career. So there was just that day I wasn't in the mood to play around. So I wish I wouldn't have added that 12 comment bit, right? Because Then people within the truck garage take offense to it. Then people, like, there's so many things that it came out of, and it's such a negative light for just a couple comments that I said when I was hangry, that it did make me, like, there was no hesitation me coming back to run. I try to run as much as I can, especially, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of kids, drivers that would love this 9 race opportunity. So that's not remiss on me. Like, I'm going to take it that serious. Like, this is my shot. And I've been, making a living at this for 10 years, but I don't want to just be an also-ran and not take it serious and be in the way for somebody who might deserve it more than I do. So I take all that in consideration. I'm going to try all I've got. But do I change my perception of, as a driver, my only focus in my entire life was to be a Cup Series driver? No. That's all I want to do. That's all that I cared to work for since I was 12 years old, right? So in the frame of mind, I was really pissed off and hungry. But, like, that was my focus, is to try to get back to Sunday with the right group. But now this is, like, fun. I've been running some modified races, been running some late model races. I want to have fun because this garage right here off to the left, the Cup garage, it takes a lot of the fun out of it. It really does, because it's just a grind, and especially when you're not running as good as you want to run, it legitimately sucks the life out of you if you're not getting any sort of external validation from it. So I was sitting actually in the truck today. I'm long-winded today. I'm kind of fired up, and I've drank a couple Celsiuses, but I was sitting in the truck today during practice, and I just thought, like, I get to drive this thing. Somebody else owns it. Somebody's paying me to drive it. Like, this is the best job ever. And I haven't had that thought in, like, 6 years. So just the perspective of going in there and enjoying it and really embracing it is what I'm excited for the next couple weeks.
All right, Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, welcome back. You kind of talked about it a little bit, but this is probably the best opportunity you've had at the National Series level to get into equipment where you can realistically win.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
What is that mentality, that mindset for you now over these next 9 races, knowing that there's pressure probably to perform, and the expectation isn't to run 10th, it's probably to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so weird, like the life choices. When we sat there in Spire's conference room 5 or 6 years ago, and they just had this plan. They didn't have a 9/16 wrench or nothing, and they were selling me on the vision. It was nice to be part of the vision up until it became reality. Then they, go a different direction. So all the things that I've driven was to work towards, where we were going. And there were multiple times that Dickerson called me and said, hey, when Roger Penske asked about the 21 car, you got to say no, because this is where we're going, right? And there was another opportunity that was pretty good that I said no to along the way that could have put me in better positions, but I didn't take those. And do I have any regrets at all about the choices I made? No, because I would have missed out on the Amazon piece, because that's been, I think going to be a life-changing opportunity with media, and who knows what can happen there. But, like, hanging out with my kids is priority right now. And if I didn't have that this last 6-8 months of just, like, to really fine-tune and refine what my priorities are, I would still be chasing it and wouldn't have any clue of, like, you watch the Earnhardt documentary, right? Like, that guy chased it until the last lap of the Daytona 500. And there's so many things you sacrifice chasing it. So it's got to be really worth it for me to go sign up and sacrifice. And the sacrifice here, a little bit of time and ride around the motorhome with my kids for the next 9 weeks won't be too bad.
You talk about chasing it and priorities and everything. For 2026, though, as you look ahead, are you looking to use these 9 races to parlay this into a full-time opportunity next year, be it any of the National Series?
I'm looking to just be, like, for myself, like, I want to win a national race. I mean, damn, I've been pretty close on the biggest stages a couple times, but at the end of the day, like, your perception within the garage as a winner is a lot different than finishing second. So I think short order, win a couple races, just prove to myself what I've already known, but prove to everybody else that's had faith in me along the way that, like, they were right. So that's objective number one. Like, I'm not even thinking about objective number 2, because it's just gonna, like, the right opportunity is gonna unfold. If it doesn't, then you don't take it. But the right deal will come about if you go do your job and execute, then and see whatever the future holds. The more that I try to control, I've learned this after doing it for like 10, 12 years, the more that I hold on and try to work things out, the worse that it goes. So I'm going to hold on to this thing loosely. I'm going to race the hell out of this thing tomorrow in Michigan, and then go keep it moving. And you'll see my mug on TV I heard, were they mentioned on Saturday maybe moving the cup race up potentially? They're not going to good. Because I got to get my hair dialed in, Bob, for Sunday. That takes a little bit of a while for makeup, but yeah, I'll do some truck racing and give it my all on Sunday afternoon for Prime and see whatever the next chapter is.
We are racing on Sunday, just in case anybody's wondering. Go ahead, Chris.
Thanks for clearing that up. Because I heard that. I was like, oh, I don't like that.
There's a lot of things you hear, but that is not happening.
Okay,
Chris.
Thank you.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. Corey, how would you evaluate today's practice session, and what do you expect tomorrow in the Truck Series return after 5 years at Michigan?
It's going to be awesome, dude. These things drive like cup cars with like a 25-foot trailer attached to the back. That's what they drive. Like, I could see why guys like Corey Heim and Carson and Ross go run back and forth, and Kyle and William, and you see a lot of these guys driving because they have some similarities. They're really draggy. You have to pick and choose when you take runs, and I got a little bit of a taste of that in practice. I didn't want to put ourselves in too bad of a spot, but I wanted to put myself in some different aero spots just to get used to it. And it'll take me probably a stage or so with trucks around, making sure you put yourself in the right spots. But you'll see slide jobs and big runs, and you'll see some guys make mistakes in the bottom and have to chase it, and if they don't have room, they're going to back in the fence. A lot of the same stuff you saw in 2020 when they were here last time. So, and I feel good about the pace of our Gamebridge Camaro, or was it Silverado, I believe. So, yeah, hopefully we qualify good. We can stay in control of the race. In the top couple lanes, you don't want to get mired too back in traffic, because then you don't really know what happens. But, yeah, I want to be in the mix, and I think it's going to be really exciting. You're not going to see anybody run off with this thing.
All right. Steven, did you have a question, bud? Go ahead.
Steven Stump, FrontStretch.com. In 3 weeks' time, the Truck Series is going to make its debut at Lime Rock Park. Given your dad's Connecticut roots, is that a race you'd be interested in trying to get a ride for, whether it be with Spire or someone else?
No. My schedule's about full as I want it to be. Lime Rock's cool. I mean, Parker Kligerman has some ownership in that track, I believe. So anytime they can stick some new tracks in the schedule, I'm all about it, right? Just for the health of the sport. Somebody else is driving this truck. I don't think that's announced yet, so I'm not going to sit here and announce it either. But, yeah, I will be back in this unit at Richmond and see if we can't get a couple stage points or, playoff points in the bank, winning a stage or two along the way to make a little run in this owners playoff.
My Place Hotels is proud to be the official hotel partner of Front Stretch. With plush beds, in-room kitchens, and pet-friendly hotels, My Place makes for the perfect pit stop when traveling. Front Stretch fans can use promo code FRONTSTRETCH to save 10% on your stay at any of our nationwide properties. Sign up for our Stay Rewarded program to get even more savings. With My Place Hotels, don't just stay rewarded.
Steven Stump of FrontStretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.